Short and sweet.
You know what? They can't all be winners. We got 95 of these things.
Yeah,
Welcome
true.
back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And together we are...
Ryan and Joan.
How's it going over there, producer? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Just ripping into it?
No. You guys both had you had the dissolve feature when I switched between your cameras.
Kinda cool.
So it was
Nice.
very, very good
Yeah.
intro.
Well,
That's my
doing
bad.
what she does over there on the couch,
what she
as
does.
always.
Want to switch back over to
Producer
cuts,
Cara
huh?
Tafolla.
Yeah.
Nice. And this week, our royal expert, the lovely Annie the
Royal
Skovmand.
expert.
That's right.
Thank you.
Why, thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, yeah.
All right.
So basically, the Queen,
Roll,
she
roll, roll.
died.
She died.
That's
She
right.
died. She really
Something
did.
that
She
happens
died.
on this show quite a bit is
We predict the future.
we predict the future. No, we talk about
Jeez.
stuff.
Could you
You know,
imagine?
a lot of crazy stuff happens all week. We put out our episode on Friday morning, and then a monarch dies.
Every once in a while,
Every
a good
once-
old
All the
monarch
time. Happens
dying.
all the
Sometimes,
time.
sometimes we just line it up perfectly, and sometimes we miss a giant historical event. So today, we're gonna rehash it a little bit because it's still interesting to us.
Yeah. Where were you when the Queen died?
I was chilling at home. I turned on the news. Was I the one to break the news to all of you guys?
No,
'Cause-
I did.
I saw it.
I was me. So
You broke it
Check
to
the
me.
text.
I would literally was at work and Ryan called. I kept hearing buzzing in my apron because I put my phone in my apron. And I was like, what is happening? And he called and he answered. And he went, are you seeing these texts? And I was like, no, what? And he
I
went,
was
the
like,
Queen died.
The Queen died. Look, it's not every day that I feel like, stupid stuff happens all the time that we overreact to. But I feel like this is one of those things that is like a big deal. I don't know.
in the text, it was
What
me,
do you
for
think?
the record.
It was you?
I said, did
You
the
broke
Queen
the
just
news?
die? And you said, the Queen just effing died.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I was stuck in a training all day, which was so frustrating because I didn't get to, I had to pay attention to so intently to the material we were learning. And if it was a normal day,
Nerd.
I could have just had the news in the background muted, and I could have been seeing all this stuff and
Yep.
on the side, just kind of watching it all. And I was so frustrated because I told you guys, I was like, of course the Queen dies on a day that I can't have an eye to the left and watch all the stuff, because I know we've got, I don't know if we talked about it on the show. We definitely talked about how much pre-planning the world, and mainly the UK, but also the world has for this day that we all knew was coming.
I posted about this on TikTok, but I'm willing to rehash it here.
Yes.
There were hours of footage on the news. Immediately, all the news was canceled, and it went to footage of the Queen, remembering the Queen, remembering her legacy, and there was truly an entire day of programming, and there probably still is media to come out, and all of this video stuff was just sitting in a hard drive somewhere.
Some
and they
guy's
were
been
ready-
working on it.
Somebody let's just say CBS News, they're like, what's that? Okay, the Queen's dead. Open the folder. They're like, open the folder? It's yeah, open the folder. Let it rip. We've got all of these highlights that they probably update from time to time. I bet you there's a whole section of people over at the news that
there's
are
probably sections too that are just history of England.
totally.
Yeah.
We'll throw that in too.
Yep.
A little bit that I heard that I knew beforehand, but also, everything kind of gets rehashed when it
Yep.
all goes down.
Of course.
Was that the way that it's supposed to work is the BBC, which is the major network in the UK,
The British broadcasting.
immediately, essentially, everything goes
Company.
dark, and they start playing all these memorial videos that they've been working. And then also I found out there's a light that in every radio station and major network that blinks when the UK is in a state of emergency, but specifically it's only ever it was designed for when they thought royalty was going to pass away.
Wow.
And so apparently that's what happens, is that light blinks, and that's how radio stations know to check some sort of, I imagine
Check
communication thing, probably Twitter.
Yeah.
And then they immediately start talking and distributing it. But
It's fascinating.
so interesting. I watched something and it was saying that basically people should have known that. I mean, they knew pretty quickly, but they should have known when it came out that she was being watched by doctors because that's the protocol. When the queen dies, the only person that's supposed to know is her head doctor.
And it was weird when you texted us at first because I went onto the news and all of the stations said she's in critical condition, like she's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shoot, like did she? And then every time you try to click on one, they were already pulling them down because so quickly she was dead. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, so she probably was a lot worse for longer than we knew because they said that the process starts with when the queen like officially dies, they're supposed to release that she's not doing well. And then they get all the members that of the family that need to know before it hits the media that she passed away.
It was a big thing because there's been conspiracies of like the last pictures of her that were like a month ago when she was just like in an office or whatever. Like her hands are all purple.
Oh, yeah, her hands are
like her
bright
ankles
purple.
are swollen. Like all these like signs.
She met with the newest prime minister 2 days prior, and there was like a photo, and probably it's photoshopped to be fair, but there's a photo of her like shaking the woman's name. I don't know her name, and she does look old, but she doesn't look like in bad condition.
You don't think they were like weekend at burning her?
No.
They were like,
well, and then they
nice
were
to
saying
meet you, I'm the queen.
She goes to this place. It's called
Bermuda Triangle.
What's the place in the woods that she has? I don't know. It's up
Mount Vernon.
She goes to this cabin,
Mount
this
Vernon.
family cabin that she goes to from July to sometimes September, October, depending. And they were saying, members of the family were saying that she was very insistent on going to the cabin.
Yep.
This time, even though her health wasn't the greatest, and the doctors kind of advised against it, and they were saying like, they think she was wanting to do it because she kind of could maybe feel that she wasn't going to be around.
The end
much
was
longer
near
or something, and she wanted to die because she, in all her interviews, they said that she says that she's the happiest there, and her husband spent 70 years going there.
Hate him.
Annie, I want your take
Down.
on
Oh yeah,
the whole.
you're the royal expert.
The royal
is here.
expert. I want your take on this whole damn thing.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy to think like this history of these places is really, first of all, not that old. Like, yes, England's much old, like pre-exist America by so long, but
Centuries.
But like you look at like her bloodline, and it was like Queen Victoria had all these kids and then set up those kids to be the rulers of basically all of Europe.
Yeah.
World War One, Russia, Germany, and Britain were the main people in World War One. The rulers of those three countries were literally first cousins.
Wow.
Because she had set up her bloodline to literally rule the world.
Yeah. Straight up.
Like
Wow, I
Tsar
didn't know
Nicholas
that.
and King George V, I believe is his name. They were literally first cousins, and they look almost identical. If you look at pictures of them, they look so similar.
So they were fighting each other.
Well, yeah, and then
You would call this a family dispute then? World War One was a family dispute?
really, like they should have just had a family dinner and talked it out. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. We could have saved
But, like,
millions of
it's
lives.
just so crazy to
Family
think
therapy.
how, like, that really wasn't that, like, that was her, like, that was the,
Yeah, but
I
can't
believe
they?
that's the Queen's
Doesn't it go
grandpa.
back like centuries though to like feudal Europe? Like, can't they track? Like, isn't that how?
Well, it
correct me
really
if I'm wrong.
I believe that it really starts with Queen Victoria's father.
Okay.
As like the modern monarchy in Europe and how that looks.
Okay.
Crazy.
And like that's really not that long ago.
Well, it's like the thing about Prince Harry going to Hamilton, and
It's like
Lin Manuel was like, that's like the king in that show is like his great grandfather, and it's
5
like
grades, 6 grades.
I don't know how many,
Yeah.
but and he's
Some
like
grades.
it's kind of awkward because like we're telling this story about how
horrible your family member
it's
is.
divorced, and then all of a sudden like, oh, that's actually somebody you're related to. You don't see that.
That was
Yeah.
literally people's families. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's just like crazy. It's crazy to think how interconnected it is, and like she was the longest reigning monarch of all history. Of all time.
I heard she was the second, but I think maybe
Who's number one?
I don't know who was number one, but I was going with you because I've been telling everybody she's the longest reigning because you
Because
told me
that's
that.
all I had ever heard.
And
that
then
she was
like on one of the major news networks, like she was the second longest, and I was like, second?
I got it.
That's
I'm on
weird.
Yeah, pull it up because I really don't know.
It doesn't
with
matter.
Modern medicine,
either way,
she got
amazing. It is
she became
long
queen at, like,
time. 25.
25.
Yep.
I guess maybe she's the second one. I've always been under the
No,
impression she was the longest.
I agree with you. I say we just say she is, but
Wait, we'll just go with it.
I
you know?
heard.
She's probably the
She
longest
is
reigning
in fact
female.
the longest reigning in British history.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The
well,
that's
longest
where I'm getting
reigning
it.
monarch was Sobhuza II, who reigned over Swaziland
Oh,
for
love it.
82 years.
Gorgeous. Love that.
1899
Gorgeous.
to 1982. I wonder if that's like a child.
So let's
shit,
just
that's
call, let's
wild.
just
Child
like,
become king
let's
or
just
something.
call her the law. I mean, like,
She's the longest reigning female
like
monarch in
known,
all
well
of history.
known, well
King
known.
Louis XIV reigned for 72 years
That's impressive.
That's
'cause
impressive.
She beat him.
in Allez Français.
She
yeah,
beat him.
Cara, she beat him.
Yeah, she did.
She beat him.
And
Wait a
Betty
minute.
Well, the
White
number-
reigned for 99
The,
years.
number,
So good to
the
go.
numbers
always
don't
win.
really add up because she was 96 when she died. And if she became,
I think you technically count.
when she was like 18 or something, right?
I think it counts from when, you're. I think before she probably got inducted is like when her dad dies.
oh, okay.
The like monarch prior
Because it
to
takes a little
dying.
time, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
It's pretty interesting though.
Also insane is
she
like
ruled from 1952 until 2022.
it's crazy.
Which
Like
34 years.
she
70 years.
My math's wrong. Sorry, I apologize.
like she did so much and she saw so many people and like think of for last 70 years how many different presidents we've been through.
She's met 14 of the last 15 presidents. I found that out.
It's absolutely absurd.
Dang.
I've watched
it's-
a lot of. I watched a lot of
It's
content. on this.
crazy. And I think the thing about it, which is my favorite fact about the royal family, is she literally became queen because of a fluke.
Sure.
Her bloodline wasn't even supposed to be.
Really?
It was only because her uncle abdicated the throne.
Yep.
Her uncle was firstborn and was king,
Yep.
and he fell in love with an American, very much like the whole Charles and Camilla.
Why
of
is there
which,
not a movie about this?
Oh,
There is.
there
It's
is.
the
Oh,
crown.
okay, cool.
The
It's
crown.
called- it's called The Crown.
It's the show.
But
No, that's not about his brother.
I found this out
That's
because
the
I
whole
was
first season of The Crown is like
Really?
this.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
great. It's a great show. You should
It's-
Oh, sorry.
definitely watch it.
It's absolutely insane because it really was like he fell in love with someone that royalty, whatever fake ass royal rules were like,
love
sorry, you
trumps.
can't marry them and they can't be part of royalty. You either give up your throne or you like give up her. And he said, forget that, I'll give up the throne. And he abdicated it to his brother, who was Queen Elizabeth's dad. Like there was no like when she was.
He's
but,
like, I'm
he
not
kinda
giving this
sucked,
up.
though. He's not
Oh,
exactly like a cool guy.
And then he
really?
became
No, yeah.
became like the first Duke of Windsor or
Yes,
whatever.
that's right.
Like he's the one who got that
Dukes of
title.
Hazzards.
Dukes of Hazzard, yes.
Yeah.
And there's a story. I watched this documentary a couple years ago, and it basically was like Charles before he got really before his uncle died. Like he got close to him because he really understood him, because he was in love with Camilla and he couldn't. Like he was told he couldn't marry her, and his uncle basically said like, don't do what I did.
Don't
he was
choose
like,
the money.
No, he was like, no, don't do what I did. Like keep
Choose the
throne.
money.
And he did.
Like
He said
follow
stay.
protocol.
He's like, you
don't-
should totally
'cause, like,
be royal.
He's like, it sucks being
his
the Duke of
uncle
Hazzard.
Hazzard.
His
Girls.
uncle basically got excommunicated and was like given an island to look over.
Well, hello, Harry, Prince Harry. I mean,
Yeah,
the
like-
guy's in America now. We'll take him
Yeah.
though.
I thought he was in
No,
Canada.
let's send him back.
Yeah, they're in Canada.
Yeah,
Close
Canada.
enough.
Oh, really?
Close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, so speaking of fake ass rules, like
Oh, that's annoying.
the part that's really interesting to me of this whole situation is like how I like kind of was saying earlier, like basically how TikTok reacted to this, how
Yeah.
America reacted, how
Yeah.
social media reacted. And it's honestly crazy,
So
like
funny.
mixed reviews on the Queen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I was telling you about. I just think it's so funny because, like all the major, prominent British, comedians,
Yes.
hosts, actors
Yes.
are like sending these really warm like condolence messages out on the
Yeah,
internet,
sure.
and then you just see like Americans. Not that anyone famous in America is doing anything particular, but like just all the like people who make the best memes are just
Yes.
like the Queen Elizabeth running into Princess Diana in heaven, and
Yep.
and then also I saw one where the guy was like he was pretending to be God, and there was this big long line, and he was like, what's going on? There was like a big commotion, and they're like, oh, the Queen just got here, and she said she doesn't wait in lines, and he's like, well, tell her she's in the wrong line anyway, and then they're like, actually, bring her to the front. He's like, somebody will get Princess Diana, and they're like, oh, world star. It was so
I
funny.
hadn't heard World Star in so long. That was a good,
So good.
so good.
Yeah, I think that
I've been sending you guys all the ones I've seen.
it's
so
yeah.
funny
funny.
to me because like everyone I've met who is British or like from England,
Okay.
I've never met anyone who actually like the royals or the
The
queen,
monarchy.
right? Like everyone hated the monarchy.
But then
as
you
far
s-
as
but then
I
you
know.
see, like,
She's a
so
fairly
many people-
well-loved, like, icon, I feel.
Yeah.
But, like, I think the weird thing is, like, what she and kind of all of it represents, like, you know,
Yeah.
colonialism.
Like she
and-
was great. I think a lot of people liked the royals because of her.
Yeah,
to some
sure.
degree. You know, like I think
Uh-huh.
she was. But
I mean, she's
ultimately, I
really
don't
the
know.
one that brought him in the 21st century. She was
Sure.
the first royal to ever allow cameras.
She brought a radio into the.
She brought
the
cameras
Buckingham
into
Palace.
Buckingham Palace.
Really?
And allowed them to do a TV special on her and her family.
I also saw that she. Well, this is. I would imagine
It was kind of a
fairly
flop,
standard. She got rid of all the
Nice.
discriminatory like laws and things in Britain, like
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
almost like immediately when she was in power. Which it seems like the logical thing to do. I know, but like
Uh-huh.
it was just interesting that
Have
she.
you been seeing the memes about the
that.
corgis?
Yes.
Oh.
That's the saddest part
And the
of this whole
swans.
thing.
You know how many
Saddest part.
swans she had?
How many
She got a lot of
swans?
swans.
A swamp of swans.
Thousands. I read she had thousands.
She just had them.
Yeah, they just, well, what's she gonna do? Put like them all in birth control? They're just gonna start swanning each other.
Oh, they're just
She
swanning
loved
each
them
other.
apparently, and
They're
they,
re-swanning.
They're re-swanning.
they're like, what are they going to do with the swans? I'm like, really? That's what we're worried about.
Release them. Kill them with
swans.
their
There's a transfer of
Viking
power. We're
funeral.
worried about the swans. That is so
Hey,
America.
it's a
If
lot
I can
of
be
swan
honest.
spawns. You know,
I see all the things about the dog lovers who are like, who's taking the corgis? And it comes out that Prince Andrew's taking the corgis. And they're like, no! Hasn't he done enough?
say it ain't so.
Well, he's the only one with Prince Harry that isn't going to be in military garb for the funeral, the formal funeral.
Yeah.
Him and
'Cause he
Harry,
got-
because
He got stripped of it when all the allegations came
Yeah.
out about sexual assault.
So he was in it. He was in it partially when they were doing the whole like guarding her casket, which I was telling Ryan was that was one of the things that I was like, oh, that's it
Cool.
was to like sad music, and they all come out and they're like
You want us
standing
to do
on
that
they're standing
for
on
you?
all sides of the casket. It just was like I felt like a sweet moment. Like I feel like
Sure.
she would be looking down and being like, yeah, those are my, like, as a family dynamic,
Yeah.
aside from who she was and how popular they are.
Sweet moment.
It was a sweet moment to see them all be like, and they were all kind of emotional, and they were just standing on each side and being like, this is our mom.
So
like,
that-
do you give a shit about it? Like, do you give a shit about the monarchy? I should say, like
No,
the
no, no.
royals and
Did
any
you,
of it.
You
What-
watched the royal
Annie?
weddings or anything?
no, I never did. And I said earlier, I also did like kind of a investigative deep dive, when
Sure.
she died this last week. I've been like Googling stuff as I think of it. Cause I don't think I'd ever seen a picture of Prince Andrew. I knew like he was a dirtbag,
Oh, he's ugly.
but I never saw
They're all
so I
kinda
looked him
ugly.
up, and then I found out like the royal family is huge. I mean, she had 4 kids, and then all 4 of those kids had like
Queen
more
Victoria
kids,
had
more
11
kids.
kids.
Which is like,
Wow.
But you only
Yeah.
hear about the ones that are in line to like get power. You know what I'm
Yeah, 'cause
saying?
they don't give a crap.
Or the
Well,
ones
and
that are
Eugene,
like
the
in
one,
that.
like their cousins.
Yeah.
Like when Will and Kate got married, and Princess Eugenia and some other princess Catherine came in those ugly hats. They were like hideous hats, and it was for like years
Yep.
that everyone made fun of their hats.
Crazy.
And Princess Eugenia just got married, and she has a giant. Her wedding was like the last royal wedding that happened. I think it was like a couple years ago.
I just think it's funny that like, and I know that the line has to stop somewhere, when it comes to media. Like the media can't. I mean, they track
Yeah.
as much as they can, but
I
like
think
the
that-
reality is like we're not worried about the 4th son or whatever, whatever his name. I don't know. It's 2 sons and
Edward.
2 daughters, right?
I
Or
don't know.
is there 3 sons?
People are crazy
What are you
about
talking
that
about?
stuff, though.
Hers, her
3
kids.
sons, 1 daughter. Princess
Oh,
Anne.
okay.
It's Anne and Charles are the oldest, and then like 8 years later, she had Edward and Andrew.
Yeah, because they seem kind of young. Edward and Andrew
Yeah.
seem
Yeah, they're a lot
significantly
younger than Charles
than-
and Anne.
Look,
Yeah.
I watched The Crown. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was fascinating. I was invested in the
Historical
royal family
fiction.
in that way. Yeah, in a kind of historical fiction way.
Mm-hmm.
And like the history is fascinating to me.
That's why I even care a little bit about them. Is the history of their family. is
Beyond
super
that,
interesting.
I'm like meh.
Yeah.
I'm like not like obviously it's sad
Them
that
as
this
public
old
figures,
woman
ugh.
across the sea has passed away. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not lost on me. I think I'm very
not.
meh about it. Like
Yeah, I'm the same too.
and
I-
that's my hot take.
And we were talking about this before the recording. I was just fascinated about, it wasn't hard to say that like we knew she was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like at some she was 96, so
Yep.
like best she had like 4 or 5 more years if she was lucky. But it's weird to think that we're in the time that everyone has been prepping for. Like everyone has been
So
like
cool.
kind of anticipating this moment of like, and nobody knew what was going to happen. And then she dies and we're like, oh no, we're living. That's just so interesting to me that
That's
we're
just
like
a
living
piece of
in
history.
the time that that people have been prepping for like
Well,
decades.
I was talking to Ryan, like there will have been people who lived their whole life with Queen Elizabeth and
Yeah.
never saw the monarch of another, like a different monarch in England.
Absolutely.
I mean, what,
Yep.
70 something years? Like people have been born and died prior to her.
Yeah. Everyone
and
peers.
now we've had 2.
Oh.
Dang.
King Charles,
King Charles.
and Queen
And we'll probably have
Lizzie.
a third.
Queen Lizzie.
We'll see William on that throne and
Probably.
his
you guys want to
awkwardness.
place your bets now?
I mean,
So
my
let's
bet-
see. So this is awful, maybe, but let's do it.
It's not
anyway.
awful.
This is
No,
not
have
the
you
worst
seen
thing
King
we've talked
Charles?
about.
Queen Elizabeth has passed away at 96. What was it? Philip died
it
at like
90?
101
I thought
or
he was
something.
100.
90.
I thought he was 100.
It was like
99.
99.
He looked like he was 100.
He was like
Yeah,
99
he
or
looked like a
something like that.
skeleton man.
We hate him.
You
I
know,
think
the-
it was just before his birthday.
Queen Victoria
Rest in
died at
discomfort,
98
William.
or whatever.
Not William. Oh shoot.
Dang.
William, I wish you the
Whoa.
best.
Stop. Wee
But as
Willie.
for your grandfather, he disrespected my father, and for that I can never forgive him.
True.
Oh, just before his 100th birthday.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
before his
99.
100th birthday.
Okay, so they have like, good, what do you call it? Longevity, right?
No, they
These
have
people.
the taxpayers of England
Yeah.
paying their medical bills.
They're drinking unicorn blood or something. So
Okay.
how long until
Hold on. Before
the
you get to
next
this.
monarch?
Can I say something?
Yeah, let's hear it.
That you've ruined me, and I've already told you that.
Yes.
But when she died, I was like seeing this coffin driving in this car. You know, it's like the clear
Like
glass
she's
car.
there.
You
Yeah.
know, the whole thing. And I thought, what are the odds that she's not
There's
actually
no
dead?
way she's in there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are the
So
odds for a
stupid.
second?
That's
I know
so
it's
dumb, but
crazy.
She's dead.
But I'm
okay,
thinking-
but she's definitely dead. There's
But-
no
She's
there's no
dead.
way in hell she's in there though. Really? They're
No.
taking her
But-
body through the streets.
Well, that's I
Yeah,
don't
she's
know.
down in
She had
Buckingham
a
Palace.
she had a swift like burial underneath the palace in like the
She's in the cold
catacombs or something.
storage.
Yeah.
It's
Down
kind
in
of weird to
Buckingham
think
Palace
that.
in the walk-in.
No,
Wait a
I-
second.
That's what I'm wondering.
Did they freeze her brain? Is that what you're asking?
No.
I think here's what I'm saying. I know it's crazy.
Here's the thing: is there will come a time,
Yeah.
maybe in the near future, maybe in the distant future, where the technology is there that we can revive ourselves.
No.
Like we can live on
No.
another life. You can download your brain and put it into a human.
Here's what I think. The
No.
royals.
Don't you think they all have access to that?
I think for sure they have access to technology we're not aware of.
Yep.
Two, I think
They're
that
not
there's
aliens.
no way,
Yeah, no.
way that the royal family are just buried in wherever they say they're buried.
No.
There's no way that they just bury their bodies in like where everyone knows they're buried. There's got to be some like really top secret burial ground that like the royals go to. I just don't believe they're like, oh
know
yeah,
what?
we buried them in this, and anyone could.
Yeah.
Oh, anyone could come weaken to Bernie's, the Queen's body.
Well, I'm
No, they
I know
probably
it's
buried her with
protected.
like jewels and stuff. So
No,
like
they
grave
No,
robbers.
the only thing she
like
can
they
be
Tomb
buried-
pass
Raiders.
down. They do not
No,
bury
the
her
only
with
buried-
They
jewels.
Two
bury
pieces of
Tutankhamun
jewelry.
common with every like
It's a
jewel.
totally different.
No, it's
Oh,
two.
really?
It's
Is
totally
it?
different.
It's two
It's
pieces of
totally
jewelry.
different.
They're
They found
burying her
King
with.
Tut's tomb, and they found jewels and emeralds, and the Scorpion King was down there.
They buried her with her wedding ring.
Okay,
and pearl earrings.
how much do you think that'll get you?
No,
$12.
Annie's
A
right
pretty
though.
penny.
Why-
Everything they've ever worn is probably
Passed
categorized
down.
and also
Yeah,
kept
you
in like.
can.
Yeah,
You can.
yeah.
There's a website in which you can look up a certain tiara, and it will show you pictures in times that any other royal has ever
Whoa.
worn that tiara.
That would
The crown
that'd be
jewels.
interesting.
Why would they bury
That
her
would
with her
be
wedding
interesting.
ring then? If it
Because-
does that get passed down?
No, because Prince Philip designed that wedding ring when they were kids,
Oh,
like
okay.
for and like worked with the
For, like, an
designer
anniversary?
and did it, and so like it's like specific to her. It's not
David
like
Okay, but,
Tennant,
like,
or not
Prince
David
Philip,
Tennant,
get outta
David.
here.
I don't
Who
know.
was Matt Stone or something
I don't know.
in the Crown?
Dang.
How long you think until we have a new monarch? How old is he now?
He is.
he's
Charles?
72.
But he's a rough 72.
That's King Charles to you.
Not
He's
my
only
king.
72.
Hashtag not
Oh,
my
that's
king.
so
Hashtag not my
bad.
king.
He's rough. He does not look
Isn't
good.
the next
see.
one in line like a kid, like an
73.
actual child?
No, it's Prince William.
Oh.
He got married. He has
But
two
after
kids.
that-
It's a kid, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's
after that it's Prince George.
William.
but Prince William...
Yeah, and that's like
okay.
a wee lad, right?
Let's just say
But if
Prince William...
Yeah, William's like what 32. Like
he's
he'd
very
be fine.
young. Yeah, he's very young.
He has
no, there's
rough
like a little
genetics.
kid, I think, in line. I saw
No.
an infographic. Maybe I'm
No,
making
okay,
this up.
first of all...
No, it's William's
his
son.
son.
But
Oh, yeah.
but Prince
Little
William,
George.
Prince William's is young. He's like in his 30s. He
Okay,
So,
what
like-
if he
lasts a
gets
long
So
got
the
like
whole
walking
point
into a
is, like-
liquor store or something?
Is like William could live till 90, and then by then his son would be like also 70 whatever.
70, yep.
And then he would take it. It's sad. It kind of makes me sad, the idea that we're gonna have like these old ass white men
Yes.
as kings and
Who's
monarchs
we?
again.
Not us.
Well,
We
We're
got
in
Joe.
America,
we got Joe
baby.
Biden.
We got
With the
gas
heart
powered
of a stallion.
vehicles.
Another
We're
old
drinking
white
blue
man.
moons up in here. This is America, baby.
America.
I'm just kidding.
it's the
No,
Eagles.
I think 7 years. I've seriously thought about it. And I thought he's got more than 5. He's got less than 10. It's 7 years.
If
That's good
I
number.
were
7 years.
him,
That's a good
and
number.
I don't know,
His fingers are going viral. Have you seen his fingers?
oh my god, did I send you
they're
that
like
video?
all puffed
Dude,
out.
sausage hands.
What
Yes.
about Vienna sausages?
So bad.
And it was like, hey, if you meet the new king in person, don't mistake his fingers for Vienna sausages. They're his fingers.
I don't
was
know,
like,
man.
oh,
Remind
poor
me
man.
7 years from now that King Charles is going to die.
What do you think, Annie? How much time do you think he's got?
Honestly, I'm surprised he even took the throne.
Oh, really? You think he was gonna like?
I thought he was gonna abdicate, but I guess in that case, no, he would still.
No, because
No,
it's
go
like
to her.
you've
Go
been
to
waiting
Anne.
your whole life.
Well, I'm saying I just think that he's not loved. He is hated
No.
among.
Well, yeah. I
England.
mean, he
I mean,
had
it
Princess
would've been-
Diana
Love
killed.
him or hate
so-
him.
It would have
blood
been.
runs
It would have been smart
thicker
for
than something.
the royal family to have lost such a, staple, which was Queen Elizabeth, to then it would have been smart for him to abdicate down to William.
Do you think that his team's
Interesting.
probably like it's a bad look? Like people already think you're terrible to like give up the crown and be like, I don't really want it. Like, don't you think
I
it'd
don't
be
know.
even
I think-
worse?
But is there at some point? I mean, I don't know if there's any part of this in history that's done this. Was there at some point where like he could abdicate later on, like do it for 5 years and then be like, okay,
I'm
I'm
sure.
stepping down
Maybe
as
he really
king?
wants to honor his mom and be the freaking king. Maybe he
The
really wants to
reality
do
is
it.
He was trained his whole life for
Yeah,
this.
of course.
Yeah, it's the
like, as
longest
much-
internship ever, is what they're saying.
Yeah, as much as like
Amazing.
he as a person might not be the best person ever.
He knows what he's doing.
As for like what this role entails, like he has literally been training for it his whole life.
Dang.
Wow. I don't know. There's something I think it's kind of interesting. Like I said, I go back and forth, but I think nobody can hold a candle to Queen Elizabeth. At least not in this generation.
Well, she's the
you know
one
what
who
I'm saying?
changed all that. Like they touch on it in The Crown, but like she is the one before that. Like there was really never a time in which a female would act like truly step in and do all the roles in which a king would do.
Yeah.
She
And
did
she
it.
like came in and she like forced them to teach her about Parliament. She forced her them to really like prepare her to run the country and fully be the one running it.
Yeah. I think
And-
also she wasn't supposed to be so young. You know, like
Right.
her
Well, that's the
dad
whole thing. Her
died
dad
and
died
it was so sudden
suddenly.
and you know, it was so I think that also plays into it. Like she kind of is like trial by fire, and I think she came out the other end. Where like Charles isn't going to
With a
get
bunch of
that.
dogs.
Like Charles isn't going to get
With
that.
her-
Charles has had his whole
with the
life to study it,
corgis.
and I feel like he's going to come at it in like like trying to ace the test that he studied his whole life for.
Yeah.
You know.
You know
Yeah.
what's crazy? Like talk about like she saw a millennia of change practically. So all of her, for a vast majority of her corgis were descendants of her first corgi, Susan.
Mm-hmm.
If
Oh,
you look
God.
at pictures of that dog, the corgi breed looked completely different.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
the
Okay,
breed
has
single-handedly
changed.
It's like a
ruined
terrier.
dogs.
Like, corgis were more
I
terrier.
gotta see it.
Oh yeah, and now she she designed her own version of corgis called Dorgies, and it was a dachshund corgi mix.
Wow.
That has to be so bad because corgis already have such a long body.
Yeah, there's
Oh my
no way that's
goodness.
healthy.
What do you think, John?
Her beloved
Cute.
corgi Susan.
They're kind of cute.
Yeah, she was a little shutterbug too. I saw a bunch of pictures from our local camera store that they were
she
posting.
Was. She loved.
She had
she loved cameras.
Yeah, she had her cameras.
And they're releasing a lot of photos that were never released before because I don't know, maybe she didn't want them to be public or whatever, but now they're like, she's dead, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many more like photos humanizing her, which is ironic
Pretty
because
awesome.
like why wouldn't she want those released like when she's alive, you know?
There was
she's
no
a leader of a
marketing.
country,
Yeah,
like,
marketing wasn't a
it's
thing back
not-
then.
And also on top of that, it's like you don't really want them to be seen. She grew up in the realm. She literally lived through World War I and II, basically. You know, maybe not one. Maybe
I think two, for sure.
Yeah, she served in two.
One was a family dispute.
Yeah.
Two was a little different.
Was a little different.
Right,
you know,
right.
Yeah.
more distant
Typical.
cousins.
Yeah. Even more believe it or not, even more distant,
distant
which is weird.
All right.
But like she grew up in this era in which kings are supposed to be these like, you know, stern, statuesque,
Yeah.
respectable men, and here
And
she is, and she really was.
For that
You
matter,
look at
like
her,
women are seen and not heard, right?
Yeah,
like, is
you
the whole
you look at her,
thing.
and she always was very like she wasn't really smiley. She was pretty stern.
Mm-hmm.
You know, was kind of like a stickler for the rules and regulations, and so like why would she want videos out there of her being goofy and silly? Like she didn't.
in a goofy, silly mood.
Goofy silly mood.
I-
Just
what-
Queen in a
I
goofy
think
silly
what's
mood.
tripping me up is that you could literally like watch. I mean, to some respect, you can do this as a normal person. You have photos and videos from your whole life. Depending on how your parents were. If your parents were big time video photo people, but you can literally like, as a person, anybody in this world could Google and like piece together her entire life, like her whole,
Yeah.
all her phase. I know we have that with celebrities, but like,
Not like
it's
that.
so different with her. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Like I see young photos of her, I'm like, that's not the queen. Like I wouldn't be able to recognize her if I like.
Oh really?
Like when she was younger, she just looks like a normal person
I feel
to
like
me.
she looks exactly the same.
I don't know.
she
I
looks
just
the
always
same as
pictured her as this
Caroline.
white-haired like old lady, and that's what she was as far as like I knew her. You
Well,
know.
you know what's crazy? Like she
Buddy
was
knew her.
a long
Yeah.
enough reigning
Yeah.
monarch that they changed all their currency to her.
Well, they're changing it to King Charles right now, right? They're in the process of filtering it out.
No.
I don't think so. No, I think they're keeping it the queen.
Filter the
All
money.
right.
I don't
We'll
think
see.
it changes.
We'll have to find that one out.
All right, I heard it changes.
Oh,
You know what I heard? This is off topic, but when they, okay, so you know we went to the moon, right? We were gonna go to the moon recently. We didn't do it, but back in the day,
did you see that video I sent you about Buzz? It was a conspiracy.
Buzz
theory.
Aldrin's like, we
Buzz
didn't go to the
Aldrin
moon.
literally saying like it was fake.
yeah, that's pretty bizarre.
Anyway,
I'm gonna share my fact, and then we'll get back
Okay,
to the
we'll
moon
get to
landing
that.
is fake. So they took all those photos,
Great.
right? You know the famous photos of him, Neil
Yeah.
Armstrong, and Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah.
They're like getting off the rocket ship. All those famous moon photos. They actually, so they brought these film cameras up there. They're all Hasselblad cameras. I just watched this YouTube video on it, and they took all these famous photos, and then they couldn't bring them back. The cameras. They had to just bring the film. And so literally on the surface of the moon right now, there's like 6 like 1960s Hasselblads just like sitting there.
You think they've been like dissolved though? Like
By what? There's no
I don't know,
air in space.
something?
Moon
dust?
people? Moon dust?
I don't
Well, there's
know.
no
Aliens.
gravity either.
There's
so
no
you think
there's no well,
and
Thanks,
no,
guys.
there's
Yeah,
a little
no,
bit of
there is
there's a
some
little bit of
gravity
gravity
on the moon.
It's like a tenth of Earth gravity or something, but
like I don't know.
they're just up there.
So you want to
So
go?
yeah, I kind of want them. I just think about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Was England?
like-
was the UK involved in that moon race at all? Or
no, it was us and it was the Cold War
Russia.
thing. They
But,
were
like,
probably like in on it,
The
but
UK
like,
is like we're good.
yeah, no. Remember how like World War II happened, and then all those Nazi scientists and stuff were like fleeing Germany afterwards, and then they just happened to be in America, and then we just happened to develop space travel like from all these Nazi.
what are you talking
You know
about?
what I'm talking about? That was the thing. Okay, NASA in the 50s was literally built on like Nazi scientists like fleeing Nazi Germany,
A
and they were like,
vast majority
"I
of-
would like to help get to the moon."
Okay.
Nice.
What?
Well,
Thank
it's
you,
good.
thank you.
Good to
I'm
know.
gonna do some
How
research
about
into
crack
that, but
open a
I'm
freaking
pretty-
history book
I'm pretty sure
once in a
that
while?
they
I trust
Royal,
Annie. I
royal
trust Annie.
expert.
I trust Annie completely. I don't know. Annie, if Annie doesn't say it's real, it's not.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
Ryan.
Go ahead.
No thanks.
Go ahead,
No.
Annie. Really,
No,
you're
I'm
gonna
just saying.
you're gonna treat me like that on my 26th birthday. Really?
Oh, by the
and
way-
today is your 26th birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Is it your birthday?
Is it your birthday?
Today
Whoa,
is
shoot.
my birthday.
No.
John, did we forget?
I forgot.
Okay,
Sorry, buddy.
guess I'll die.
You,
Go ahead.
and
It's
you
not.
will.
I mean, it's 26, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's not like something important.
Happy birthday.
No, we're not singing it. We're not singing it. He's fine. He doesn't need that. Look at that. Who is that guy? Wow. Oh.
Wow, what a sweet little
What a
picture.
sweet little thing.
There's me,
Oh.
and there's me as a banana.
And that's a cupcake for Ryan.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
No one wants to hear anyone sing that, John.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. Ryan knows. Happy birthday to you, all that stuff. Many more.
Oh, really,
Channel
Annie?
4.
That's what
You
we're
can
gonna
get
do
it.
now?
Well, we'll have him make a wish. But like,
I
you
get
want
this
to
open.
listen to a podcast and hear someone sing happy birthday. No one even wants to hear people sing happy birthday on people's birthdays.
All right, Annie, that's enough. Thank you. We won't sing happy birthday down.
No, that's fair. I mean, what do you,
Take
like
it
what
out of the plastic. Take
what
it
do you
out of the
want to do?
plastic.
when people
Put
are
it
singing
on the
happy
plate.
birthday to you? Oh, look at that. Cute
I have a
little
great
situation.
video of Ryan when Cara and her dad were dancing on their father-daughter dance at their wedding. And I imagine that's how people feel about happy birthday.
Yes.
It's like you have
Yes.
no idea what to
No,
look.
I don't know
like,
where to
what
look.
do.
Where to look, what to do.
Yeah, you're like,
Happy- All right, we're not singing apparently because
happy
Annie hates
birthday,
it.
Ryan.
This is some
Make a wish.
birthday ASMR.
Happy birthday.
You guys.
It's carrot cake
Did
because
you
that's
make
the
this?
cake you had at. Yes, I did.
Everything
She
revolves
made
around
it.
our
I just
wedding.
pulled it
Yep.
out of a plastic container, but she definitely made it.
I made it. It's actually the cake from your wedding. I saved it.
Wow. This is great.
Carrot cake, right?
Thank
well,
you.
and no
I
birthdays.
hope you
without-
like it.
No
That
birthdays.
was the only cake I've seen you eat.
No birthdays are complete without a gift, and I don't have anything physical for you, but I
Okay.
can tell you what your birthday gift is from Annie, Jordan, and I. Mm-hmm. This
you?
year we're going on experience, and so we have purchased a certificate for you to go skydiving this year.
Shut up.
Dead
Seriously?
serious. Yep, dead serious.
Did you know this?
I actually didn't know this. Surprise, Cara!
Wow.
So you're gonna go skydiving at 26.
No way, I'm so excited.
I'm excited too because it's like the full like video package too. So they have like a
Oh,
GoPro,
no.
and we're gonna see it
Shut
all.
up. Oh
We're
my
gonna
god.
see
you pass
all of
out.
it.
I definitely will, for sure.
Yeah. So
cry like a little
anticipation.
baby.
That is so sweet. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Ryan.
birthday,
Oh
Ryan.
my gosh. Wow.
Wow. So it's not as exciting
show
as like
over.
a
I
physical gift,
No,
but
it's fine.
That is
You
going to
got a
be
cupcake.
exciting through and through.
we're gonna hopefully see it on the
Are
show.
you
at
guys
some
going to do
point.
it or just
we're-
you're just setting me?
no.
I'm considering
You
it.
got to do it, dude.
I'm considering
Okay,
it.
have
yeah,
to.
no, sign me up not to jump out of a plane. Excuse me, no thanks.
Well,
That's
it's pretty
weird. It
iconic.
seems like you'd be really into that for some reason.
That's
I don't
so
know.
I'd be really
that seems
into,
like a
like-
you thing.
Well, like imagine the trauma of like something messes up and then like I have to be there to save your life.
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh
why
my
I'm
gosh.
there.
Is that what this
Oh,
is?
yeah.
Like
The
an
hero
action movie
complex.
kind of situation where
Yeah.
like my parachute
know?
breaks and then you have to like fly down and like
Yeah,
Yeah, we've
Tom-
actually
Tom Cruise
designed
it.
it
Actually,
so that
yes.
your parachute will fail first.
you.
And then
Done.
and then Tom Cruise will
Best
swoop
birthday
in.
ever.
Tom Cruise. We hired Tom Cruise. Well, it's a Tom Cruise lookalike.
But we're getting you
Wow.
as a near-death experience. Not really
Wow.
skydiving. Yeah.
Okay,
so.
is it weird? I'm like getting nervous right
I-
now. I'm
honestly,
like, the fact that I actually have to
pretty
jump out of a
Should we
plane
terrifying.
now.
have videos of like
POV. Do you like like POV skydiving
like
video?
skydiving
Oh,
fails or skydiving
Skydiving fails. Do they have that?
and see like all the horrific.
Well, there's not many.
almost died
LOL.
And get you really scared.
Just funny things.
things?
Well,
Maybe not.
Goals for 26 now.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, it's about you
Go
now.
sky-
Now
skydiving.
you have 26 is a big year for you.
Yeah.
You have a new queen or a new king.
Yes, King Charles.
King Charles,
My
your
king.
king.
I mean, what else do I need? King Charles.
26.
Wow. 26. Let's see. Goals
What,
for
what do
the
you
new
got, what do you
year.
got going?
I mean, shoot. This will be. I'm coming up on a year married.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
That's really exciting.
Getting up there.
Let's see. Nothing. I got nothing
Yeah,
for you.
it's so
26. I mean,
good.
now I'm excited to go skydiving.
Wow.
I'd
Yeah.
like to. I love. We did a lot of traveling this year. I want to double
did.
down on my traveling. What is this? Skydive fails.
This is POV skydiving. So this will be you.
Okay,
In just a short time.
Just give me a little taste of it. Okay. Okay.
It's no big deal.
That is horrifying.
This
Already
is the plane you go
terrifying.
in. Apparently, it's a tiny plane.
way.
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine this is a pretty universal experience, right?
Ryan, are you not going to do this right?
Wow.
Brian.
People
Okay,
actually
it's
do this.
different.
Oh,
It's different when you're on.
that
you're
is
strapped
so
with someone.
shocking.
When you're strapped with someone, they make you sit
I'm
down
like getting sweaty.
and slowly.
I'm actually
scoot
getting
you out.
sweaty right now.
Yeah, he's totally, yeah.
I'm
that guy
doing it.
literally stood up and jumped out of a plane.
I'm literally gonna pee my
Oh
pants
my
in the air.
gosh.
That's gonna be so fun. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
So yeah.
Who the hell
What was
thought
I
of
saying?
this? Who came up with this as
The,
a fun activity?
The
Freaking
Navy,
the
Like
Navy.
sports falling,
Yeah, like, hey, you know, it'd be fun.
like recreational
Air
falling.
Force.
Let's jump out of planes.
How long could you possibly fall? You know, like yeah.
I wonder,
How high
like,
could you get? 10,000 feet.
Dang.
it's so interesting.
I want to do the like
He's going
Felix
through a cloud.
Felix Baumgartner thing where he like jumped out of a space plane.
No.
You remember that guy?
Yeah.
It was like a Red Bull thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he jumped out of
Oh,
space.
yeah, and he
broke the sound barrier with his body.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What about the wasn't is that is it the same as the highest skydive or whatever? Where
yeah.
he,
Yeah.
he did from
Felix.
space. Oh,
It was
nice.
like a weird,
Felix
like weather
Baumgartner.
balloon looking thing that he
Yes,
jumped off
that's
of.
what it was.
Wow, that
Pretty
is
epic.
He
terrifying.
deployed his parachute.
This is
so
a long
early.
time.
Yep. This is
I think
Oh.
that's what they do when it's your first time. You go actually like not that high.
It's 10,000 feet.
So where is it? Like Skydive San Diego?
yeah, it's called Go.
It's actually some random guy.
Yeah, some
it was
guy
a
on Craigslist, actually.
ad.
His really
name is
cheap.
Keith.
Yeah,
He's got a
he
plane.
said he has a plane
Believe it
that
or not.
And he for
says
sure
he's a
has one parachute.
that he's pretty sure works.
Yeah,
we
good.
got a deal.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saving money
Yeah,
and getting
yeah,
this
yeah,
package.
yeah.
That's great.
I'll have to send you the information. It's like Go
probably
Skydive or
in
Go
something.
dive. Go dive.
Go Dive, sure.
Paris.
Here's what I was telling
California.
Annie the other day at Moniker is
Yeah.
I feel like lately my life is so like I'm down for whatever, you know? Like I feel like
Agreed.
I want to go to more places, I want to see more things, I want to do more things. Like I feel like 26 could be another step in that direction.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I did a fair amount in 25 that was like just exciting fun stuff and I feel like I want to just do more.
Part of 25 was wedding planning, so that took up a lot of time.
It's called Go Jump Oceanside.
No, not really. 24 was kind of my
Oh, yeah, I guess 24.
Seems to be
Wedding
the closest
planning,
place
but-
I could
Yeah.
find it. I don't know. Go Jump Oceanside.
Go jump Oceanside.
Whoa.
Sick. Let's
I'm
go to
in.
Oceanside.
I'm ready.
So we'll all go. We'll do a little thing.
Annie can watch from the ground.
I will. I'll
Annie,
watch you
Annie,
die.
someoup to take care of our affairs.
Kara's
when
got
we die
a
up there.
deadpan face right now. She's deciding. I'll let her decide later.
Yeah, I'll decide later.
That's it's a lot. I'm not
It's
gonna lie
gonna
to you.
be
It's
a lot,
gonna be
but this
emotionally a lot.
is a huge
Yeah.
gift, you guys.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for that.
Yeah, I talked to Annie. I was like, because we kind of been talking about it for a little while. Like every once in a while, we'll be like, we should go skydiving, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I was like, we should do that, and then Annie got
Let's
on
just do
board,
it.
and just
Annie's on board now.
and it was so yeah, it is kind of interesting because we talk a big talk, but
we
now-
have to schedule it now.
now it has to
Now
now
we
it
gotta
happens and
do the damn thing.
I don't know, like ooh, it's scary, but I probably will with you. I don't know though.
John.
We'll
you
see.
gotta do it.
Right, as of right now, there's only one ticket purchased, so we'll
Okay.
see.
Well,
we'll see what the time goes
Let's see. We've got time.
on. We got time. Yeah, true.
You know what Shakira said, right?
What?
Try everything. I think that's my 26 is
Thank
my
you. Try
Shakira
everything?
in Zootopia kind of situation.
No.
Like
You know what's
try
funny
everything.
is
God.
like you
I
are
hated that
describing a
song.
version of yourself that I feel like already exists. Like you
What do you mean?
You're like the guy to go try everything now.
That's what I'm saying. I want to just
So
do
you wanna
that
continue
but more.
that.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
continue. I feel like I did that a good amount this year,
Hmm.
and I feel like next year, this upcoming year, I should say,
Yeah.
just like double down on it.
26, man. Happy birthday,
26,
bruh.
feeling fix.
Uh-huh.
26, a year to fix.
Okay, that doesn't seem
26,
a
the
year
year of
to-
Twix.
Year of Twix.
20 Twix.
20 Twix.
All right.
I'll tell you what, my favorite photo of you is the banana one. That is pretty
Pretty good. I look like a Fortnite character or something.
All right, well, what did you do this week? I know that you were at one of your favorite places.
I
today.
was at we got a free night stay at Skovmand Casino.
Those are a lot easier to come by than you think nowadays.
Yeah, apparently they'll just give them out to anybody, but I actually got turned on to an app. This is going to sound stupid. I've been playing this
I see you
slots
playing it
casino
all the
app.
time.
It's called My Vegas Slots, and you get points every day for playing, and I literally like cashed in my points for a free stay at a hotel. And
Yeah.
so obviously nothing in life is free. So you still gotta go gamble.
You
You
gotta
gotta
pay
go
the
eat some
piper, you know?
food. But the hotel was technically free.
How much money did
Great
you
times.
lose so far?
I don't know if I'm comfortable disclosing that.
Okay.
Well,
Information.
okay.
Uh-oh.
Cara will.
I'll say
For
it
sure,
in a
$100
right
bucks a
way.
pop for sure on both of us.
I'll say it in a nice way.
No.
Or not nice. Just a way we
Logistically speaking.
Go
we
ahead.
were
Speaking of
like
the mic, though.
gifted money for doing work, so that's kind of like free money
you,
itself.
You are making this
You know?
less clear than it was.
Yeah.
No,
so you
that's
guys
clear.
did a job that you're not comfortable
We
admitting.
helped a family member
No,
move
Okay,
we
in.
helped a
okay,
family
all right,
member
there we
move
go.
in.
And this family member paid us for our time.
Yeah.
So
And you
whatever.
got free
So
money.
we used that was in a
No
jar
strings
at home.
attached.
No.
We never put it in our account, so that was like free money because it was cash.
we have
So
a
like,
Free
fun
money.
Do you guys
Free
have a
money.
fun money jar?
No.
You should have a
Get
fun
one.
money jar.
Nope.
This is
Like, like this is the jar.
this is we
My
don't-
sister has one though with her
Yeah.
with her fiance.
This is the jar
Put
where
cash
you
in the jar.
where you're like, oh, we're going to the swap meet. Fun
And then
money jar.
pull some cash out of the
oh,
fun
today
money
we're going to do
jar.
a nice dinner. Fun money jar.
Because the rest of our
So
you know,
how does money get in there though?
Tips.
Cara gets tips from work.
So it's just Cara's
I
money.
work for a rogue.
no,
oh really?
sometimes
Is that the kind of marriage you're in?
I'm just kidding. I'm
My
joking.
money, your
I'm
money.
It's our money.
It's
I know,
our money.
I know. It's
Every hour Cara puts in a moniker
sometimes
is
when we
our
get like
job.
gifts, like money from Christmas or parents, we'll just put it in the jar.
Yeah, you put cash in this jar. So we
It's an
cracked
actual
into the-
jar, huh?
It's an actual jar.
It's an actual
yeah.
jar.
I've never
So
seen
we
it.
had to crack into
It's
fun
hidden.
money. We're getting stoked for about a month from now. We're going to Vegas.
Yeah, so you're gonna fill up that fun money jar. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
well, we're gonna have
We're
to
gonna try.
because now it's empty. So
Yeah.
it's empty now.
fun money jar is empty. Put a little money back in the jar. Take that money to Vegas.
Yes.
You were talking about casinos before we got on the recording. And
Yes.
Tell me more about what your casino
I was
experience
just
is.
leaving the casino today was just bizarre to me because we stayed there overnight and then we got up this morning and we had some coffee and then we played a couple more slots. We went by the pool.
Yeah.
And the weird thing about the casino is like you go in there and there's no windows. There's no, like
you think
it's
that's on
just
purpose? It must be.
It's,
on
Yes.
purpose.
it's definitely intentional.
Okay.
And this is the same way in Vegas. Is like you go into a casino and there's like the lights are just bright all the time. They're open 24 hours a day. The lights are on. There's no clocks anywhere.
Nope.
So you can't be like, if you're not checking your phone, you don't know what time it is. You're just in there spending your money, spending your time. And then we walk out of that place and it's like, oh, it's the afternoon. Like I was like, oh, we just had our breakfast. We're like, oh my God, it's time for the podcast. Like we have to go.
Yeah.
It's just a really bizarre feeling that threw me off. Right now it kind of feels like lunchtime to me. I feel
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah. So,
And for me, it feels like
So
nap
what's
time.
for lunch?
yeah.
Like
it's
you know
just-
how
so
that
what is
like
for lunch?
2
You don't-
o'clock nap time, like after lunch.
John,
Do you,
you know.
do you take a nap at 2 o'clock?
You don't take naps?
Well,
I'm
I
usually
do.
working at 2 o'clock.
I
You
mostly
take naps.
do.
Okay, you get off at 3 o'clock.
3:15. Yeah.
You're telling me you don't take that 4 o'clock nap time?
So here's the deal. I don't take naps
Yours is
anymore.
close to dinner.
Here's the thing. I don't take naps anymore because I had this really toxic trait back when I first worked days, because I
Okay.
worked nights for a little bit.
Okay.
And the first time that I worked days, I was doing more of like a 7 to 3:30.
Okay.
And
I think I know what
I
you
used to
did.
do this thing where I would come home and I would sleep for an hour, and then I'd stay up till 12
That's
because I
right.
wasn't tired, and then I'd get up at 6 and I'd be tired all through work.
You're robbing tomorrow to pay today.
Yeah, and
terms of
and it
sleep.
was, and so then when I switched back to this, it's been probably almost 2 years. It was in November, I think maybe last year or the year before. I don't even know. I told myself, I was like, I'm going to try my hardest to not nap.
Okay.
Unless I'm like absolutely like dragging and I have something to do, or sometimes like tonight.
Sure.
Like today, we usually we'll hang out until late. So,
Yeah.
like sometimes today, if time permits, I'll take like an hour nap, and that's because
Sure.
I know I'm going to be up, and it makes up for that time, right?
Yeah.
Or tomorrow, I didn't get a nap today, so tomorrow I might sleep. But I try hard not to take a nap because it will really screw me up. And if I'm not like, if I don't have my full sleep. When I get tired, much like a lot of people, I have a short fuse, and I
Uh-huh.
work in a job where like
You start punching and
a
kicking.
short fuse is just like not gonna fly. Like you kind of have to have patience, and that's the one thing I lose. So I try to be responsible and not do that. But
I'm quite the opposite. Anytime there's an available moment for a nap, I can fall asleep anywhere. I could like fall asleep in the car if I wanted to.
so do you? Well,
I could fall asleep on the couch.
so you just when you go to bed, like when you're like in bed, you just fall asleep almost immediately.
like
Yes.
a light, like turn it off.
Really?
Yep.
Yes, he
Yep.
does.
I'm built different.
You are built different.
Yeah, straight
Because
up.
I'm
he
telling
literally,
you.
he'll do that thing where you like, he'll lay down and 5 seconds later he'll do that like almost asleep twitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Or
yeah.
he'll like
I'm
do
like-
that almost
I'm
asleep
full
snore
blown-
and wake himself up and then go
I
back.
pride myself in my sleeping abilities. Like I'll literally just lay down and then like 10 minutes later I'm out.
So interesting.
I wish.
So after the 25-hour last year, when you got home, did you just
I
go out?
slept the whole day.
Did you
That
go to
actually
sleep
messed me
immediately?
up fairly because I took a nap and then I took another nap and then I went to bed, which actually I think maybe helped. But after that first nap, I was like a zombie.
See, and I told you this. I think I told you this before. When we were done with the between the last 5 hours of the 25-hour was
Sure.
like so bad for me. I was like sitting here like
Yep.
barely like getting away, like barely staying awake. I was drinking Red Bull and wasn't even doing it. And then the moment we finished, we cleaned up, you guys left, I was like
Done.
awake.
I was too.
No, I immediately snapped it. I couldn't
too.
fall asleep.
I literally
Wow.
went home, I showered, and I started cleaning my room.
Showering was your big problem there. I didn't shower, but I went to go lay down, and I was like, I was just not tired, and I was like,
Yeah, the shower will wake
hate
me up.
myself. I hate myself for this. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your plan this year?
Well, this year we're doing it a little differently, which
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about it on the show. I mean, we probably should.
Sure.
We're starting a little later. So we're starting in the evening of the Friday, and then we'll go until Saturday evening. So that will be kind of interesting because
then
it
it'll
will
just be
kind of be
nighttime
time
and
to
you'll
go to
just
bed
go to
anyway,
sleep.
right? Yeah, and so
That's kind of fun. It'll be like, a big sleepover.
I think it'll be a
Yeah.
lot funner because here's what I'll say about I think I'm better at staying up late than doing something like the way we did it last year was we started early and it was a
whole
long
day and then a whole night.
and then it was a whole night and then it was like that last couple hours in the morning where it's like
At least this one will feel like half a day and then the end of the day.
Yes.
yeah I really think like that this overnight will be easier because it'll be right in front so
Oh,
our
yeah,
best
for
energy
sure.
is in there and then I feel like it'll just carry through but we'll see. I mean October
I think
28th.
your guys' problem last time was you literally had,
Okay.
I think, like 8 shots of espresso in the first like 4 hours.
Not
Yeah,
nearly
you
not
guys-
nearly enough espresso, right?
No, and then you
More.
kept drinking Red Bull. It was too much.
I think we both
Oh,
had
you
4
think
Red
you think it
Bulls
was
each.
too much
it was
espresso?
way too much because you crashed.
I know. I
hard.
should double down this year. 12 shots, you think?
Here's what I think.
What do
You'll
they
have a
call
heart
that?
attack.
12
Okay.
Vocchio?
Also, one of our
Twilio.
crucial errors last year was we did it around your birthday, and so the night
Okay,
before
yeah.
we had a big
Wow,
birthday
sad.
dinner for you, and it was great, and of course like it was fun. But then we started at 8 a.m. the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think what would be
Birthday
different
dinner
too.
only went to like 10.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
that
you didn't have
sounds
to
like
drive home.
There was too much.
Yeah,
There was too
yeah.
much focus on me,
No.
and then not enough focus on you. Was that what the problem was?
It was
that-
difficult because I obviously wanted to go to your birthday dinner and like celebrate you because like I was excited for that.
Thank you.
But also, I was like, I wanted to try and get to bed early. So, so like the full night's sleep the night before this time, I think will be a huge game
That's going to
changer.
be definitely
And like
valuable.
we'll be able to take a nap and like we'll be really rested going into it.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh,
that's
yeah,
going to change
for
the
sure.
vibe.
I'm
of
just
it,
happy
so.
because we have a concert the night before. So
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one. That's going to be.
Well, we don't start till late
I mean,
in the
sleep
day.
I know,
all
then
day.
we get to
Sleep all
sleep.
day.
Yeah.
sleep in.
Sleep hard. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Thursday night, I might try and stay up as long as I possibly can, and then sleep as long
All
as I
day,
can
and then
in
wake
the
up and
day,
you'll
and
be
then
good.
hopefully it'll kind of turn me
Oh,
around.
I could literally wake up at 10 a.m. and then go like trick my brain into being like sleep until 1,
Dang.
and I would.
Guys, where's this cake from? It's really good.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
okay.
Okay, good.
Depending on what you
Bonds?
said, we were going to tell
We
you.
were going to tell you a different story. It is from the one, the only,
Costco.
the Target.
Target.
Target. Wow.
I'll say the frosting's really good, or maybe I'm just a little snacky hungry,
Snaky hungry.
but it's good frosting.
So,
Just
sorry, we were
desserts.
talking about casinos for a second.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying we're getting stoked. We're going out for. Speaking of birthdays as well,
Robert's.
Robert Albright is having a little birthday soiree.
I'm excited to go
Yes.
back to Vegas because I had never, well,
Never
prior to
been
your
to
bachelor
Vegas.
party, I had only been one time, and it wasn't like a Vegas trip. It was more like we were just there for like a vacation.
Yep.
We didn't do like.
Were you even 21 at the time?
I don't think I.
It's just-
I
that's
wa-
just
the
a
last
pool
time
trip.
I was there before our
Yeah.
bachelor party was the same. I'd never
We
been,
weren't
or I'd been one
21.
time, and I was like 19 years old, so
Yeah.
it was like there's nothing to do there.
Except
Yeah.
for swim in the fun pools.
Yeah,
which
that's the one thing we didn't
really
do. At your bachelor party. We were didn't.
Oh, and we were in the
rumor has
lazy
it
river.
someone-
we
over
did
at
the day.
Someone
Yeah,
got
that's
you
right.
get kicked out, right? That was the rumor.
Oh, the rumor has it. The rumor has it. I wish I could talk
somebody-
about it, but I signed an
I don't
NDA.
actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
No.
because you
That
wouldn't-
story
you wouldn't
is
remember
so
that.
iconic. Like,
I guess we can rehash it. It's about that time. Listen.
you want me to tell it, or do you remember enough of
Do
it?
you remember it at all?
Wait, maybe let's wait till we go to. Maybe that's the Vegas special.
Okay,
To divulge the
because
story. Hey,
my perspective is hilarious. Like, oh, it's so good.
maybe we'll go live from Vegas that week or something on the podcast.
That'd be kind of fun. A Friday night
Who
stream.
knows? Annie.
Annie,
Got your
Annie's
plane
not
ticket. Get your plane ticket.
going. Yikes, Annie's not going. Never mind. Scratch it.
Cut that.
So yeah, you were talking about the time warp of a casino.
Yeah,
Percy Jackson
referenced Percy
effect.
Jackson. You ever see that movie?
I remember seeing it. I don't remember the part you're referencing. but-
Logan Lerman was in it.
There's literally this
Okay,
is one
I
of my
remember
favorite
seeing it.
movies.
Is this
Oh,
this
get
is
it,
the
Cara?
sequel, right? The sequel to Percy Jackson.
No,
The
this
Sea
is
of
the
Beasts.
first one. This
Okay,
is the very
go
first
ahead.
one.
Go ahead.
Maybe we
This
should
is
watch
when
it.
they're literally trying to get Zeus's thunderbolt that was stolen,
Yes.
and it's in hell. So they
Percy
have to like
Jackson.
try and get to the portal of hell, whatever. And they have to collect.
Casually.
They have to collect these little
Spoiler alert.
Greek
these
mythology.
little like pill things that can transport you anywhere. So
Okay.
that's their way out of hell, is those little things. So they're going across America trying to find these things, and one of them is in the like Lotus Hotel in Vegas.
Loosely based
So-
off of the Odyssey,
Yes.
Homer's Odyssey,
Yes.
where they go to the land of the Lotus Leaf, and they lose track of time. They're like, we've been at the Lotus Leaf.
They're the second
is
they get in,
important.
they get offered a little dessert that
That's
looks like
what
a
I'm saying.
lotus.
They drank the lotus,
No, it's not a
and
drink.
it makes
It's
them,
like it
it's
looks
like tea or whatever.
Brian,
Ooh.
get it right.
It's like
Brian, it's
you know
important.
those cakes that
Okay.
have the white chocolate like
Yes.
hard pieces on top, like the
Yeah.
flakes. It's like a white lotus, like when Willy Wonka bites the cup,
Okay.
the teacup.
Okay.
It looks like that as a
Okay.
lotus. So they're biting this like lotus, and it like turns into
And they get
like,
high.
They pretty much get
That's
high.
what I said. They
No,
get
you
high on
didn't.
the flower.
No.
Anyways, and they're like, we've been here how? We've been here 6
Like
months.
finally, there's this guy playing like an arcade game next to him,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Bro," like he's fully dressed in 70s, and he's like, "Hey, do you know what year it is?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, bro, 1972," and he's literally just been in this casino playing games because he doesn't know the time.
Damn.
And just like a casino, they lost track of time. They get lost in the sauce.
Yeah,
And they're making a new Percy Jackson show.
Really?
they are.
Disney
They're making
bought
it
it out.
more
By the book,
By the book, yeah.
apparently.
That's
They
good.
just had a D23 this past weekend.
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff from that.
Any highlights? Anything specific you got from that?
Well-
a
Oh,
lot of fun Marvel stuff coming out.
they're doing another meta season of High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Okay.
In
Go
this
ahead.
new season, they are
The
putting
series, the
on.
movie?
Series of
No,
them.
they are putting on High School Musical
Stop.
at this school,
Yes.
and the old cast of the movie is gonna come to the school and be like,
Yeah.
"You guys saw our movie, and we want to help." Like we were in
Okay.
high school.
Oh my
like, they're being
gosh,
that
Okay, wait.
meta.
Are they
Please
being
murder
wait,
this.
Okay, so is Zac Efron playing Zac Efron, or
Yes.
is he
Yeah,
playing
he's
Troy Bolton?
He's playing Zac Efron.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in this universe, he is really Zac Efron.
Yes.
Yeah, so
and
it's
those
not,
kids are coming, but
Those
there's
kids got
characters
the rights to High School
that
Musical.
are being played by actors.
On High School Musical, the show.
High School Musical, the musical,
The series.
the series,
doing High School
featuring
Musical.
actors from High School Musical, the movie.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just
Isn't that crazy?
stop,
You love
please.
it. You eat that. Up,
I haven't even
bro.
seen the new series.
So that was
Yeah,
a
it's kind of
thing.
cringe. They're trying to do like a Glee thing,
What else?
like where they're like actors.
Good for you, you
Yeah,
look happy. She
Olivia
did her
Rodrigo's
song.
there. She got kicked off the show. I think.
No,
I think
she
Joshua
didn't.
Baskett got
They're,
kicked off the
they're
show.
literally on it right now. In
No,
season
but
3.
like they don't. But they don't film together because they're like,
Yeah.
you know,
They hate it?
yeah. No, they.
I
hate
mean,
each
let's be
other.
honest. They created this drama. Like they know what they were doing, right?
Their marketing team did.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like they're not mad at each other. Let's be honest.
They put out
Good for you.
the new Little Mermaid trailer.
Yes, that was controversial.
My brother
Yes.
cried.
Fake controversial.
Yeah.
Did he?
Bobby cried at
Love.
it because when he was a kid, he would watch Little Mermaid
Mermaid.
on a loop. So he said like
King.
something about like seeing it and like thinking about his little self. He just got really emotional.
Ouch. Okay, he's not gonna like this one.
What else?
Hate it,
What else
hate
did
it.
they come out with?
Why do you hate it?
We've talked about it before. The live action Disney thing.
Oh yeah,
they just
never do
released
live action
Pinocchio.
Boo.
You see that?
No.
Tom
It's on
Hanks
Disney
is
Plus.
Geppetto.
Just like what?
Just stop.
Like, I don't know.
I feel like I told Cara this in the car. I feel like it undercuts the original thing. Like why it was
Yeah.
so important to young Bobby is like
But
because
here's
it was
my
so
thing.
good. You know, why do you
I
have to
think-
like make a better, different movie?
I think.
I think it's because they want to make it more adult.
Well, let's be honest. It's because they want to make money.
Money.
But
They gotta make money.
also, I feel like I think that in some degree they're thinking maybe they can't capture the younger audience with animation like they could capture us. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were kids, think about TV.
All we
and
watched was animation.
you know, it was
those
just
movies
animation
came out in the
feel.
90s and the 80s. Like they were already old when we kind of were like, for sure, like Little Mermaid, like those maybe
Tarzan.
not. No, I guess those came out more when we were
Yeah.
actually kids. But like, I don't know. It was
You
What
know,
are you
it's
thinking,
already
like
old.
Snow White?
Yeah,
Like
I
that
guess
old?
like those kind of Disney movies, like Robin
I
Hood.
just feel like maybe
Pinocchio.
they're like, oh, the kids these days they want like the really, big
but do
production.
they ever know what the kids want?
No, I think they
Do
might
they?
be thinking that people want to have someone they can relate to, like an actual human instead of like a drawing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You gotta think.
I
Even
think
the
it's for
kids,
money.
like we watch like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that was true animation. Where nowadays
Tom and
these
Jerry.
kids, all these kids,
She's
all their
back.
like cartoons are like the 3D.
Right.
Oh,
Like they
Yeah.
don't watch normal
Well, that's what I'm
cartoons. They
saying
don't
is,
watch
like,
SpongeBob and
they
stuff like
want
that
to.
necessarily.
They're
Like
trying to get to the younger
they're
audience.
even getting rid of Cartoon Network.
They are?
Rip.
They who?
What?
Did,
Oh my goodness.
I heard Cartoon Network like is selling their rights, and they're gonna like
To who?
they sold to like I want to say Sony or Paramount or something.
All right,
They're
let's find
shutting
out.
it down.
No.
I thought I heard that from one of you.
My God.
I'm sorry.
I'm not that upset. I'm not that upset.
Yes,
it's fine.
you
it's
are.
fine. It's
Yes,
fine. It's
you
fine.
are. Yes,
Not-
you are.
not Ed, Ed, and
Cartoon
Eddie.
Network.
Ed, Ed, Eddie.
Stem.
I just
Oh
said
my
I watched
gosh,
Tom
you
and Jerry.
guys.
It is. I'm not lying. It's
October 1st is when it officially
Seriously?
dies.
it says the Cartoon Network
What's going to replace it?
reported that
Nothing.
the
They're
channel is
getting rid
being
of-
canceled on October 1st, 2022
The
to
channel?
shut down a row of programs such as all the programs that are playing at the moment.
I mean, what shows are still running? Adventure Time is already done. That's the only one I know.
don't even know what's
Regular
even on
show
it
got
anymore.
canceled. I mean,
So I'm
just
saying,
what
like, they
it
don't even
what
really
it
have
represents.
cartoons,
What
so
it
I-
represents.
I didn't mean for it to be that.
Wow.
Wow, that's actually
Traumatic.
that's
I'm
an
so
end of an
sorry.
era right there.
That's an end of an.
True.
I think cartoons are kind of done. Like even the kids
No
on the
way.
animated shows.
Have you watched Bluey?
Oh, you know what? Bluey's good.
Bluey's
Bluey is
good.
cartoon.
You haven't considered Bluey.
But
you
I'm
ever
just
considered
saying-
there's a show called The Smiling Friends, which is
Or
like
Peppa Pig.
okay.
No, that's done.
All right.
Smiling Friends is like
No, it's not. Beat
and,
Kanye.
and Rick and Morty is like I'm thinking like the Adult Swim like adult cartoon world is still very much alive.
Maybe
BoJack
that's
like
Horseman,
Bob's Burgers,
Bob's
yeah.
Burgers.
Maybe
That-
that's
but
what
it's
it's gonna
Smiling
go
Friends.
to.
It's
is more
targeting
like,
the kids who grew up on that. We watch that
Yeah.
because we grew up on it.
Sure. Yeah, on like Adult Swim. Like
yeah,
I
but
said.
no kids would watch that now.
But
probably.
So
who's-
what channel is,
so
like,
are they
Bob's
just
Burgers
losing
on?
out to I think
Euphoria?
Fox?
Because maybe all those
Euphoria.
people from Cartoon Network
Welcome to the conversation,
are now going
John.
to go to those
Thank you.
shows.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess they're just losing out to Disney.
Yeah.
And
I was just
Nickelodeon, I
we were
guess.
just okay. So we
Down
were
with the
watching.
mouse. Down
we-
with Big
Yeah.
Disney.
Jordan
Frick
and
the
I were
mouse.
watching for like the
Euphoria.
millionth time
How was that?
Encanto with our nephews the other
okay.
night.
Okay.
And
Shoot me.
it was just interesting, like
Pretty
how
mediocre.
incredible animation is
Yeah.
at DreamWorks. Like
Yeah.
the shadows and like the way that they're able to reflect light in these scenes. Like in Encanto, there's like
hair,
this
the hair.
flash scene where it like
Yeah.
stops and there's like a flash from a camera, and like the way that it's like created is so like
I'm actually
incredible.
I'm pissed off more. I get that. That's great and that's innovation. But if there's no alternative, Disney has cartoon animation by the balls.
Yeah.
And they decide what works
They
and what
really
doesn't
do.
work. And if there's no like counterculture to that,
Yeah,
Cartoon
I
Network,
guess.
not like Cartoon Network was so punk rock, like they were still like a big industry
Punk
too.
rock.
But like, yeah, they had shows like Billy and Mandy and freaking Courage the Cowardly Dog that were weird as frick.
Those were so scary.
Cat dogs.
Love
So
those.
weird.
Love
Cat.
those.
Well, that was
That was
Nickelodeon, but
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon's going the same way.
Sorry,
They went
never
all
mind.
live
I'm
action
thinking
too.
of all the ones.
I don't even know any other cartoons on Nickelodeon other than SpongeBob, and they
Yeah.
What was the one
SpongeBob.
with the dog and it was like an older couple and the dog
It's
was the
Courage the
star?
Cowardly Dog.
You're talking about
Oh,
Ren and
yeah.
Stimpy.
Yeah, that one.
No.
No, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
No,
was
the
scary.
Courage
two, the
the
older,
Cowardly Dog.
yeah, the older
That's one.
couple.
Yeah, coward.
That was such a weird show.
That one was
Yeah.
terrifying.
Watching it,
Even
like-
the big house on the farm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so weird.
Both Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network were that.
Yes.
Like opposed
Yeah.
to
Ed, Ed
like
and
the
Eddie and-
feel good like
Ed, Ed
Disney
and Eddie.
cartoons. You
Aw.
know, like they were like they would fly in the face of adults and freaking like family values.
Yeah.
And now we're losing that because they can't
Foster's
afford it.
Home for Imaginary
Foster's
Friends.
Home was like a weird ass show
Classic.
too.
I
like
love cheese.
fantastic. Wilt the
I
Still.
love cheese.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think it's also a
Done.
reflection
Kids
of
Next
art.
Full stop. Full
Like,
stop.
Oh,
I think
Kids
you're-
Next Door.
What you're saying is
Oh, that's
correct.
good.
Like
Yes, thank you.
I
Nerds.
see what you're saying
Hey,
about
thanks.
the balance of somebody has to be the other side,
Was Totally
otherwise
Spies
one
Cartoon
side
Network?
controls
Totally
the
Spies.
medium, you know?
Yeah.
But I also
Done.
feel like to some degree, like maybe
Now they can't afford it.
well,
like,
maybe our
because
society's moving away from animation, and like Disney's always going to make that crap for
they're
kids.
not Disney and society. They're like they love it. They're eating it up. Like you said, how
Well-
many times do you watch Encanto or Moana or freaking Bear in the Big Blue House with your nephews?
Bear in the Big Blue House.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
a classic.
I
You
love
don't
that
know
show.
Bear in the Big Blue House?
You know that show.
You know.
well,
it,
I
so
probably saw. I
That
probably
was
know if
actually
I
a
saw
live
it.
action show.
You're
So
done. It was.
now
Same
I'm
with
here.
You're done.
Out of the Box. Out of the box.
yeah, talk about great.
You know, Cartoon Network
I'm
is
really
dying.
upset about that. Actually,
Sorry.
I was
To
letting
be
off.
fair, it does seem like
that I wasn't
speculation,
upset.
but a lot of the news
You
outlets
really
are
weren't.
reporting it.
I
Wait,
screamed.
speculation.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm reading some of these articles. Like, this article that I was read to you said, like, it's happening. But then I, like,
Okay.
scrolled down, and one article's like, it's technically rumored, but everyone seems to be pretty sure that it's
It
happening.
was like when the
I don't-
Queen died.
Yeah.
Rumored.
Remember that?
Gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
Tying it
R.I.P.
back.
the Queen.
Tying it back.
All right, King Charles has 7 years to live.
10.
I'm gonna go an
5.
even 8.
Oh, you're such a bastard. You're
Well,
going
I
to
gotta
one
do
over
it.
mine.
Yeah, it's a Person's Right rules. So,
So, wait, is it closest without going over?
closest
Yes.
without going over.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Just standard rules. Okay,
Okay,
got
right.
it.
It's Person's Right rules. I'm right. Oh, whoa. On the
Whoa,
couch as
whoa,
always.
whoa.
Cara Tafolla. Annie the Skovmand. Hey, thanks
Jeez.
for taking a little time out of your day to listen to this show.
And happy birthday
Thank you.
to this guy.
To me. Let's go skydiving. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
Let's see you next week on
What
What
the
the Podcast.